playing baseball really feels like true baseball day. It's the 4th of July.
Baseball's America's pastime.
You get to look forward to the fireworks.
The big celebrations.
It's a cool time. It's a holiday. Everybody likes to play on the holidays.
A beautiful day for us as ball players.
I come from a military family. I'm very proud.
Our country's the greatest country in the world, and
It makes you feel like you're wearing a USA jersey.
What's more American, than playing baseball on the 4th of July?
Well, we agree. Baseball on the 4th of July. It is a beautiful day in Minneapolis. We're at a beautiful ballpark. It's Target Field, and it's the first of a 3-game series. It's the Oakland A's and the Minnesota Twins coming up on CSN California. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Hope you're enjoying your holiday. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Welcome to A's Baseball. Kendall Graveman gets the start today. One of his 3 wins this year is against these Minnesota Twins. It was back at the Coliseum on Memorial Day.
What a special day for him, because he gets the 4th of July after Memorial Day, and he hopes to do as well against the Twins as he did in that game. He picked up a win wearing the camo hat, and he did a great job. His sinker is the most important thing, gets the ground ball outs. If he does that, as we know, he's going to have a lot of success. He hopes to do it again today with a short turnaround. But Kendall Graveman, very proud to be pitching on America's birthday.
For the Minnesota Twins, it's been a tough year. They're 27-54, but they are very excited about a 23-year-old outfielder named Max Kepler. Boy, does he have a sweet swing, huh?
And with Paul Molitor, their record is horrible. They're 27 games under 500. When you're that bad, you want to have somebody who is very good, and Max Kepler is that bright star for the Minnesota Twins right now. He's a rookie. He's left-handed. He's driving in runs, coming up with big hits. And I think for the fans in the Twin Cities, they're very happy to have this young man. They've had a great history of great players here in the Twin Cities for the Twins, but they have another one in Kepler.
Yeah, it's our first look at Kepler. He'll hit 6th and play right field today for the Twins. So the A's and the Twins on the 4th of July from Minneapolis. So we are looking forward to it. It's a beautiful day weather-wise. Up next, we will check in with the A's pregame live studios and then come back to Target Field for A's baseball.
Baseball on CSN California is brought to you by Jack in the Box. It's back, the Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack. Taste it before it's gone at Jack in the Box. And by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
The Twins have taken the field, so we are just moments away from baseball on the 4th of July, and it's a nice day for a ball game. Let's look at the game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. Well, it's July in the Midwest, so it's a little humid, but a little cloud covered, cooling it off. It's 76 degrees, a nice breeze. So it's a nice day today, but we're all a little concerned about tomorrow. In fact, tomorrow evening, the weather is supposed to get bad here in Minnesota, so we'll keep our fingers crossed that maybe the storm misses us. Who knows? But we'll worry about that tomorrow. Let's look at the lineup this afternoon for the Oakland Athletics. It starts with Coco Crisp. He'll be in left field. Then Lowry, Reddick, Valencia, Davis, Vogt, Simeon, Alonso, and Burns. There's your A's lineup.
Ricky Nolasco has some time against the Athletics history, but not this year. He did not start against the A's back in the Memorial Day 3-game series when the A's swept the Twins. Not a hard throw. He does have a split finger fastball, and I think, as you mentioned prior to going on, his name had been bantered around a lot, but not recently, because 3-6 record, not exactly the way the Twins had hoped he would be pitching.
So the big right-hander is set to go to work. Twins with the red tops, white bottoms, and the A's with the all grays. Both teams with, as it should be, a tint of blue and red in their uniforms. Nicely done all around Major League Baseball today.
Ready for the 110 to show up on the clock somewhere, because that's what the home plate umpire Manny Gonzalez is waiting for. And it has arrived, so we're ready to go. Yeah, the uniforms look great. Steve Vucinich, the A's longtime equipment manager, clubhouse manager, with the uniforms and bringing them. Of course, you have to talk to Vuce about getting a red, white, and blue helmet, though. I don't think it's going to happen.
It clashes a little bit, but that's okay.
It does look good enough for America's birthday.
So the first pitch of the ball game to Coco Crisp. There's Steve Vucinich. He's styling as expected.
He has that shirt that he carries with him for special holidays, and today is one of them.
So 2-0 now to Coco Crisp. Crisp, Lowry, and Reddick here in the first inning against Ricky Nolasco.
2 four-seam fastball, which he likes to throw a lot, and he's thrown 2 of them, make it 3.
Very high and foul, well down the right field line. Umpires today, that's Manny Gonzalez calling balls and strikes. CB Bucknor, Fielding Culbreth, and Jim Reynolds, with Culbreth being the crew chief. He's out at second base. Missed outside, 3-1. Crisp hitting .247 with 7 home runs and 35 RBIs. Sitting on a 10-game hitting streak. Had a hit in each of the 3 games against the Pirates, and it's a leadoff walk.
Okay, now Delaire pointed out, check the shoes of Coco Crisp. He's not wearing white shoes. How about that, huh? He figured, hey, got to put my own shoes on for today.
I like them.
They are great.
Defensively for the Twins, Rosario, Santana, Kepler in the outfield. Sano, Nunez, Dozier, Vargas on the infield, and Centeno is your catcher.
To be honest, when I saw Coco, it looked so strange. I thought the Twins were hitting first.
Well,
because
yeah, plus the high socks, and are the socks blue?
They're dark, but how about the? I mean, he had to call his shoe manufacturer and said, "Hey, man, I need some shoes for the 4th of July. Got the stars on them." I mean, that's impressive, Coco.
Okay, trivia question. When was the last time an Oakland A's player did not wear white shoes?
Before 19s. Well, they wore them. Let's see. Oh, look at this. That looked like the Sandy Alomar Jr. chest protector in the All-Star game when they had it in Cleveland. I think he had one similar to that, but on America's birthday, perfect. Got the flag on the right sleeve, the red, white, and blue chest protector. That is outstanding.
2-1 the count to Jed Lowry, hitting .292.
Okay, I played against the AAA team for the A's in Portland. That'd be 67, 68. So we're talking probably mid-60s. because they had the white shoes that brought out. Monty Moore, of course, talks about the white shoes being brought to the A's.
Okay, here's a question I should probably know the answer to. They wear white shoes in Kansas City?
I don't think so.
I don't think they did
No,
either.
because they brought them in Oakland, because I think that period of time before they came to Oakland in '68. And I want to say Monty Moore said that whenever they showed up in Oakland wearing white shoes before the '68 season.
That was the first time.
I think you're right. And because I do remember whenever they were in Vancouver, and we played them in Portland, they came walking down that hill in white shoes. I'm going, you got to be kidding me. And that was street shoes. And then they wore the white shoes. So they have been here forever since. And as we found out with the Angels, that 51% thing. So we saw Giovatella wearing almost all white shoes.
So it's an A's thing, and it always will be. An Oakland A's thing, and it always will be. 2-2 the count to Lowry.
They're good uniforms, and really for the road unis having the gray pants, it works out even better, because at the Coliseum, you saw the camo hat that Graveman was wearing on Memorial Day, but you normally wear the white pants at home. But you know, Coco, it would have been sad if he didn't play today, huh? To not have those shoes to be able to show.
Worthy of being in the lineup.
Absolutely. Hey, Skip, look at my outfit today. It's 4th of July. Got my own shoes. Let's go.
Okay, I'll put you in. Forget that 10-game hitting streak. I'll put you in.
All right.
Reddick to follow here in the very first inning. There's the skipper, Bob Melvin.
Well, I think he said it best in our open, Kite. There's no country better than the one we are fortunate to live in. And on America's birthday, 240 years old today.
Yeah, I think we lead that race by a wide margin.
Yeah, absolutely. Good battle by Jed Lowry. Did not play yesterday. Tyler Ladendorf played second, and Jed got the afternoon off, so he's well rested. And considering the time in which the A's landed and got to the hotel, and I asked the coaches, "What time did you guys come out this morning?" I said, "Well, we left at 7:45 from the hotel." Slept fast, because by the time everybody got to bed, it's about 1:30 local time.
Up the middle, diving play, second baseman Dozier out at second, on to first, a double play.
That is an unbelievable way to start this game, and almost a base hit.
Too early for that, isn't it?
Absolutely. Dive Dozier to the shortstop, and wow, what a play to complete the double play. Unbelievable. With the glove, and then off balance throw, and a bounce to first, picked by Vargas. I mean, just all around great play. Even the great shoes by Coco Crisp could not put him at third base with the ball into the center field.
Right. When do you see a double play where all three players that touched the ball made great plays?
That's a great point, because you're right. Everybody did. They had to.
So that's a sensational double play turned by the Twins in the very first inning. So off the crack of the bat, you're thinking first and third, nobody out, and now the bases are empty and 2 out. So heck of a play to really start this series as Reddick steps in, hitting .313. So what time did we land last night? About 12, right around midnight?
About that, right.
About a 3.5-hour flight from the Bay Area to Minneapolis. You know, we got to give credit to our producer Delaire LaWars, our director Tom Adza, and our graphics operator Josh Hood. They were here at the ballpark at 7 a.m. this morning. So
getting ready. They probably came straight from the plane.
So they are gamers, and we appreciate their hard work,
Absolutely.
especially on a quick turnaround like today. Greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. More roster moves for the A's. It almost seems like a daily thing. Fernando Rodriguez was placed on the 15-day disabled list, a right shoulder strain. We saw that in yesterday's game. Ender Colón was sent to AAA. And Andrew Triggs back up. And Patrick Schuster was brought up. And that's a big deal because he's a big leaguer for the first time.
Right.
And he pitched really well for the A's in spring training, right?
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did.
He's a left-hander.
Lefty. And so Daniel Coulon, who pitched and pitched well when he's up for the big leagues. And so you have a Simon and Schuster on the team now.
That's a good call.
Now he's happy. He's got to be ecstatic. And it's always great when Mickey Morbido, the excellent director of team travel for the A's, walks up to him, gives him his per diem, and says, "Sign this contract, kid. You're in the big leagues." So that's
Mickey hasn't had a whole lot of time to do anything else lately.
That's right.
So this was earlier today.
I'm in the big leagues, Mom. How about that? Congratulations. Gets to show up on the 4th of July, put on his outstanding uniforms, and if he is a smart young man, which we know he is, he's going to tell Steve Vucinich, "I'm going to keep my uniform today.
That is great.
If I need to pay for it, I will." Most guys just stuff it in their bag and send it off someplace, but beautiful cap with the A's on it, the stars. A happy young man. He's not even in the bullpen yet.
No, he's going to
soaking it in.
He's going to wait for that walk. 2-0 to Valencia. Valencia right back to Nolasco is a broken bat. Kind of a soft line drive. Nolasco reaches out and grabs it. Side retired. So a spectacular double play turned by the Twins here in the top of the first. To that t-shirt in just a minute, because I want one of those, and I'll tell you what I would do with it if I got one. Here's the lineup for the Minnesota Twins. Eduardo Nunez is the shortstop, having a terrific season. Then Mauer, Sano, Dozier. Vargas just up from the big leagues. Kepler, talked about him in the open. Rosario, Centeno, and Santana.
And it will be Kendall Graveman again wearing the patriotic colors on the 4th of July. We talked about him pitching on Memorial Day at the Coliseum against these same Twins. How rare is that? You get the same team, a special holiday, and he's looking for another win, which he picked up one against the Twins on Memorial Day. He is 3-6, and he got National Leagued in his last start.
Yeah, that's true.
5 innings, pitching great, and because of the situation of the game, he was removed for pinch hitter. But as he said very quickly, it was a big pinch hit because Billy Butler got a 2-run single. 2 of 5 runs driven in by 2 pinch hitters of the Athletics.
Facing Eduardo Nunez, the Twin shortstop. Good pitch there, and it's 1-2. Nunez thought maybe it was a little bit low. Nunez hitting .319 with 11 home runs, 34 RBIs. He taps this one right to Lowry, who has a big hop. So 1 out. Defensively for the A's today, they will have Coco Crisp in left field, Billy Burns in center, Josh Reddick in right, Valencia, Simeon, Lowry, Alonso in the infield with Vogt doing the catching. So a good outfield, and you need one in this ballpark. It's a very big ballpark. It's a beautiful ballpark, but it's not an easy place to hit home runs.
And we have said it ever since we have been privileged to come to this beautiful park, and that is, it wasn't built for Joe Mauer. Their
that's true.
Homegrown product, and of course a huge contract. It's so many home runs to the opposite field at the Metrodome, but a little bit larger for him here at Target Field.
And Maurer this year, 7 home runs, 26 RBIs, and a .258 average. This ballpark opened in 2010, so it's the 7th year here already. And as we said earlier, it is one of our favorites. It is a beautiful place, set up nicely right in the edge of downtown here in Minneapolis.
Kind of packed in because you can see a parking lot just beyond right field where their fans are kind of straight up in their seats, but it is a beautiful place in downtown. Metrodome, I guess, is now the new football stadium. Is it still under construction?
It's opening this fall.
Okay.
For the Vikings. But this ballpark, and it is packed in when you look around the park, but it doesn't feel packed in when you walk around.
Absolutely. Big concourses, and it is a very nice stadium, and they said that the field is heated, so when it snows it just melts.
I mean, I think, you know, we were just at the Giants park, and that's packed in as well, but it feels a little packed in. The concourses are smaller. Here there's really plenty of room, even though the acreage that this place is built on is not very big.
Well, and again, to refresh your memory, they talked about a retractable dome here, or roof, but they said they don't have the space outside of the stadium because of the downtown city. It's going to, I guess, the money not so much an issue as to the availability of the space.
That's a great look. Look at that. See the new stadium, middle up of your screen. That's the new Viking Stadium, and then down in the right corner is the Twin Stadium with Target Center, the basketball arena right next door. So it's, you have 3 beautiful sports facilities, all within what, 8-9 blocks of each other?
Absolutely, yes.
Must be nice, huh?
Yes, it must be nice downtown. And you know, Manny Gonzalez saying to Mr. Sano, you know, Sano's back. He injured his hamstring when he's in Oakland on Memorial Day, and just returned from the disabled list. And you know, you're supposed to have the normal or the actual amount of pine tar you want before you go to the plate. You're not allowed to go back to the on-deck circle to re-pine tar your bat unless it's broken, and it wasn't broken.
1-2 the count to Sano. He injured that hamstring at the Coliseum, running out a ground ball. He's got past first base, and he just collapsed. So he missed 27 games with the left hamstring injury. Timeout is called. Not sure why, as they're looking out towards center field, but I don't see anything out there. Sano, 12 homers, 30 RBIs.
Maybe Kendall's wondering who's in left field with those dark shoes instead of white shoes. It is Coco. And
strike 3 called. Got him looking.
well, it's nice that Manny Gonzalez has the low strike zone, because that is a good thing.
All right, here's the Ford right choice. This is July 4th of last year. Guess who's pitching? Kendall Graveman. And he beat the Mariners.
That's right, and Felix Hernandez. Starting pitchers, Those are beautiful uniforms, and he pitched great in picking up the win. And that was a string of, remember, the 6 consecutive games which he allowed 2 or fewer runs, and just had a great string of victories and starts for the Athletics, and that was one of them. And it was on Independence Day.
So does that mean Graveman, I mean, should we just pencil him in for Labor Day? He's the guy.
Yeah, exactly. It won't be the Twins, because this is the only trip the A's are coming to the Twin Cities. They've already seen them in Oakland. That's a good call. Just
pencil him in.
Just have Kurt Young put the rotation together right now.
Dozier fouls it straight back. Dozier hitting in the cleanup spot.
The only thing missing today for Kendall Graveman is his walkout music, Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah,
of course, they
today.
play at the Coliseum, but not here in the visiting park. But I'm sure as he was walking out, he had in the back of his mind.
Dozier's been a hot hitter lately. Got 13 home runs, 41 RBIs. Cues that one foul. Twins are without Trevor Plouffe, their third baseman. Placed him on the disabled list today with a cracked rib. So Plouffe, one of their mainstays in their lineup, is going to be out for a while. Paul Molitor will he'll make do. Sano playing third base today. Twins are also without their closer Glenn Perkins. I think he's out for the year.
He's out for the year. Shoulder surgery, yeah.
That's Trevor Plouffe. Phil Hughes, the right-handed starter, he's on the disabled list with left knee injury. So, but Plouffe DL today, and Kenny Vargas called up, and of course Vargas in the lineup. So that's the injury situation for the Minnesota Twins. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. So a couple of strikeouts for Graveman here in the first. Twins strand a runner and no score after 1 inning. Warrior, and for all the information you need, go to csnbayarea.com and check out the Warriors insider Monty Poole's coverage of this huge NBA news today with, again, Kevin Durant going to the Warriors. So Monty has it all. He's really good. And he is the Warriors insider. So again, go to csnbayarea.com. Also check out Sportsnet Central tonight at 6 p.m. and they will have all the information on this big news. So congratulations to the Golden State Warriors. Almost an embarrassment of riches for adding Kevin Durant. Don't know who they're going to lose due to that, but I don't think it really matters. Kevin Durant, sensational player. So,
and does he not come from a team that the Warriors beat?
Yeah, of course.
Oklahoma.
Can't beat him, join him. That's probably what Durant is thinking. Line shot toward right center, and it's going to fall. Base hit for Chris Davis. So a leadoff single, second inning in a row. The A's have had their leadoff man aboard.
One of the softest hits you'll ever see from Chris Davis. But this is how strong he is that the outfielders have to respect his power. Just reached out on a slow curveball from Nolasco and lofted it into center field. Paul Molitor on the bench of the Twins watching it fall in front of Santana, his center fielder. But you have to respect his power. And as big as this yard is in the outfield, this may be comparable. It's a little bit less than Kansas City Kauffman Stadium, but a lot of acreage in the outfield here.
Right to second. And that's going to be a double play. Vogt hit it hard, so it's a tailor-made double play. 2 innings, 2 double plays turned by the Twins.
Well, that's called a ground ball pitcher. Get a fly ball base hit and a ground ball for double play. Dozier, dirty uniform with his first inning remarkable play.
So with 2 outs, Marcus Semien steps up. Nolasco pumps a fastball in there for a strike. Lasco off the mound quickly, fires to first, and that will do it. So a leadoff single, but he raced on the double play. Bottom of the second coming up. It'll be Vargas, Kepler, and Rosario. No score. On CSN California is brought to you by AAA. Get a free Ace Cap with a new AAA membership. Visit a participating AAA branch by August 30th. Restrictions apply. Kenny Vargas leading it off, just called up from the minor leagues. Kepler to follow, and then Rosario. That's a smash. What a play by Semien with the shift on. He flips it to first, and that's out number 1.
And that's one of the things that Marcus Semien continues to work with Ron Washington. As Wash says, how about it when he's playing the shift and goes to his right, which he has to do very quickly. Vargas, a very, very big and strong young man. Look where Semien is playing, how quickly to his right. Step and a dive, and a good play to retire Vargas, which took a base hit away from him. What a great play by Semien. And I think many hope that tomorrow night, when the announcement about the All-Star, that his name will be mentioned.
So.
Yeah, 17 home runs for Marcus, and what a thrill that would be, deservingly, as he continues to work his defense spectacular. And he's got to be happy about the Warriors because he's a big Warriors fan. He should be.
Here's Max Kepler. We talked about him in the open of our show, the rookie right fielder. And a sweet stroke.
Kendall Graveman, good movement on his two-seamer, although that one was up, but it started in and froze Kepler and found the plate.
Kepler playing in his 40th game. He's got 11 doubles. Kepler grew up in Germany. He was born in Germany and grew up there, and then moved to Florida when he was in high school. And that one bends him back out of the way. So he'll regroup.
Well, lean a little bit, take that front foot, and then take the inside part of the plate, and that's exactly what Kendall Graveman did with this pitch. And it's a great job, very athletic and very limber. And now see if you get a little two-seamer away and see if that pitch up and in really helped.
Full count.
A lot of hitters don't like to be pitched up and in like that, but it's part of the game. The pitcher says, I want both sides of the plate. So I'm going to ask him to shake off, going back with a fastball, see if it's a two-seamer coming back.
Andy Rosario will be next, another left-handed hitter. Graveman, a couple of strikeouts in the first inning.
I will say, and take a look at the uniforms, Captain. They really go all out around baseball on special days, special holidays, and you just look at the complete uniform of the Athletics. And I mean, these are worn just for the one day. Zips.
And they've been doing more of that lately.
That's Pat Gannon, Steve Vucinich's friend. I know how he got the cap.
So Kepler strikes out. Well, that would be a good guy to know if you needed some equipment or uniform.
That's right. Well, they went out to talk about it. That's what they decided to do. How about the slider down and in to Kepler, swung over the top of the pitch and is out of the strike zone, but a good one for Kendall Graveman to get the strikeout.
Two outs. Here's Eddie Rosario. Just called up from the minor leagues. And this one's hit high in the air to right center. Burns going back, still going back, right at the wall. He leaps and he caught it. About 400 feet from home plate. And Burns makes the catch. Side retired. Good looking shades. Hey, some of the founding fathers are here.
That's good.
You do not want to mess with those guys.
Hey, Independence Day. I don't know if they had those shades back in 1776.
Did Ben Franklin wear shades? I don't know if he did or not. So 1-0 the count to Alonso. He'll be followed by Burns and Crisp here in the top of the third against Ricky Nolasco. Twins have turned a couple of double plays in this game.
You almost don't want to have the leadoff hitter get on base. That's a good pitch to lay off because it's a sinker away that Nolasco likes to throw to the left-handed hitters, and Yonder Alonso taking the pitch.
One now to Alonso.
Jake Smolinski yesterday getting the green light. It's a game against the Pirates and fouled it and then eventually walked.
Yeah, that one missed a little bit inside. So for the third inning in a row, the A's have their leadoff man aboard.
Well, after going away and then down the middle, this ball evidently, according to Manny Gonzalez, did not come back enough to catch the plate. And we will see with the over the plate and just a little bit inside. Figure the umpire is on the right shoulder of the catcher, the left-handed hitter. He's going to be able to see the plate definitively. But it's a tough guy to double up, so maybe the A's will avoid a double play in this inning.
First pitch to Burns in for a strike. Nolasco, now 33 years old. He's been around quite a while. He's in his 10th year in the big league. Had some really good years with the Marlins. His career record is 103 and 95, and this is his 3rd season here with the Twins, but he was rolling along with the Marlins, and then in 2013 they traded him at the trade deadline to the Dodgers. 0-2 pitch, and Burns one after it, and that's the first strikeout for Nolasco. So 1 out for Coco Crisp.
This ball bouncing, nice play by Centeno, but ball bouncing in front of the plate, and Billy Burns come in a little bit too quickly, and that is 1-0-2. That kind of a waste pitch, but it worked out to work well for Nolasco, the pitcher.
Coco walked leading off the game.
Dodgers might be doing a little bit more of what they did with Nolasco. Did it with Bud Norris, but Brandon McCarthy's back as he was yesterday.
Nolasco went to the Dodgers in that trade, and he was going to be a free agent, so the Marlins said, well, let's get something for him. And he pitched well for the Dodgers down the stretch, and that certainly helped him get his 4-year deal here in Minnesota. So this is year 3 of his 4-year contract for a lot of money. He just has not been able to have the same success here in Minnesota that he had with the Marlins. To the count to Coco Crisp with the wide open stance. Last year Nolasco had a couple of stints on the disabled list, and he only made 8 starts for the Twins. The Twins were hoping best case scenario you have Phil Hughes and Nolasco and Irvin Santana. You have 3 veteran pitchers. Rosario going back, and now he reaches up and makes the catch. But I think the thought is, hey, you got 3 veteran guys. They're all pretty good pitchers. I don't know that there's an ace in the group, but you can build around those 3 guys, and none of them have really pitched that well. Hughes has been decent, but now he's on the disabled list. But this year, nothing going right for the Twins. Highest ERA. They've allowed the most home runs, and you throw on top of that, they have made the most errors in the American League. So highest team ERA and most errors. That's not a good combination.
It does not work well, because that means there's some unearned runs in that high ERA as well. Those don't count against it, but you make that many errors, and watching Dozier and Nunez in the first inning, you wonder, well, the defense is pretty good, but it adds up over the course of a season, and so far that has not been a great stat for them.
1-0 pitch to Lowry is outside. I think the disappointing thing for the Twins is last year they sort of had a turnaround. They were 83 and 79 last year, and they were right in the wild card race. In fact, they were in it right into the final weekend of the season. They ended up 3 games back from the second wild card spot, but they were in the mix right up until the end.
And a lot of hope coming into this regular season, and 2016 following that great year that you mentioned, and just has not worked out.
2-1 to Lowry, who hit into the 4-6-3 double play. A terrific play by Dozier. Their record last year on the 4th of July was 43-38, 3.5 games out. Different story. Worst record in the major leagues this year. So that's always a disappointment when you don't kind of build on a good season last year.
And you look at those numbers for this year and what it means for the remainder of the season. And you've got a lot of games to play and playing really for nothing just because of 22 games behind in Central and 27 under 500.
3-2 the count. Alonso takes off and the ball's hit hard right to first. So Vargas takes care of it and a leadoff walk, but again the A's do nothing with it. Bottom of the 3rd coming up, no score. Then California is brought to you by Black Bear Diner. Feed your inner bear. 4th of July at the ballpark or out on a boat. You can find a lake here in Minnesota. You don't even have to look that hard. Just drive down the freeway. This is Juan Centeno, the catcher, and then Danny Santana and Eduardo Nunez. Bottom of the 3rd, no score. The A's and the Twins.
And a good friend Kurt Suzuki has been catching well for the Twins since we last saw them and hitting very well. Numbers have really piled up for the former A's catcher who will probably be catching tomorrow night. I understand that Centeno's the one good and left-handed and catches Nolasco a lot. And it works out well today as the righty Graveman's pitching for the A's.
This one's lifted into center field. And Billy Burns is there. Here's our Geico quote of the game. It comes from Bob Melvin and the A's up and down season. We're trying to get it right. We feel like we have a lot of good pieces here. Obviously, we've gone through some injuries and continue to go through injuries, which is frustrating. Get to a point where you feel like, okay, now we've got our guys back and we can get on a roll. Now we have more injuries. So it is frustrating.
Well, I think Andrew Triggs, who rejoined the club again today, and of course with Fernando Rodriguez going on the disabled list, he was allowed to come back sooner than the 10 days, which when sent down you have to stay at least 10 unless there's an injury. And he was brought back, and we wish the best for Andrew Lambo, who was brought up and placed on the 60-day DL, then testicular cancer, and we hope everything turns out to be okay for him.
Saw him in spring training. Yeah. So Santana flies out. But I think this week, to me, looking at the season that's into the second half now with the amount of games played, I think this week is little bit frustrating because they played well against the Giants. They swung the bats great. Seemed like they were having fun, but then they got knocked around on Thursday night. But then I thought this weekend was disappointing. So it was a frustrating week, even though it started out well, and you were thinking, well, this is a chance now against a Pirates team that we found out is pretty good.
Well, yeah,
but you just didn't build on anything that happened in that Giants series.
Yeah, that's a great point, because you went 3 or 4, just won 3 or 4 against the Angels. Could have swept the series in Anaheim, lost the final game with a 6-2 lead. Rich Hill's back, pitched extremely well for 6 innings, which he was allowed only the max 85. He got to 83, and a no decision for him. And without Josh Reddick's hole-in-one in the fence, might have had a lead. Might have been able to hang on and get him a win, because 8 wins and he's missed a month says a lot about Rich Hill's season. But I will say too, Cap, and you saw them as I did, a lot of scouts at the Coliseum over the weekend, and they were looking. And every time you see a scout, you say, who are you looking for today?
Probably everybody.
Yep.
So Nunez flies out to right, and Graveman is rolling along. He's retired 8 in a row.
July the 17th, when the A's take on the Toronto Blue Jays, make a fashion statement, and you can really do that with the unmistakable green and gold tiger stripe Zubaz pattern. Special ticket includes a Zubaz performance t-shirt, game ticket. Go to athletics.com/Zubaz, Z-U-B-A-Z, to purchase tickets today. Man, you got to be there to get those Zubaz.
Yeah, we get a pair. Reddick, Valencia, and Davis for the A's here in the 3rd. Nolasco has walked 3. He has struck out 1. And there's been only 1 hit in the game. That was Chris Davis' leadoff single in the 3rd. We'll make that the 2nd. A's have had their leadoff man on in each of the first 3 innings. They have not advanced him past first.
Well, Twins were here over the weekend, so they should be well rested. They had a day game yesterday. Probably had a chance to go pick one of the 10,000 lakes to go fishing after the game.
Big bouncer to Dozier. 1 away.
That's a pitch that Nolasco wants hitters to roll over. That two-seamer outside, and Reddick just did it. Kurt Suzuki with his 4th of July cap on and sunglasses, and how times have changed when the catcher who's not starting can stay on the bench. Does not have to go to the bullpen. That much my legs would feel better, Cap, if I didn't have to.
Yeah, you should. They should not have sent you to the bullpen.
But it's great. You have the bullpen catchers. We've got a Hall of Famer, Phil Pohl. Grew up in Cooperstown, New York, and he's a Hall of Famer. Phil is down in the bullpen with Scott Emerson.
sweeping curveball. So check this T-shirt out, Ray. We showed this earlier. The mustache. How awesome is that T-shirt? That's Raleigh Fingers.
Yeah, you could just put Mingden's name on there now.
Well, what I'd really like to do is just plant your face on there with your mustache from 1973, 74, 75. But that's what you need. You need to have the T-shirt, but then have the ability to just whatever, or put more than one guy on there, because if I remember correctly, it was a team full of facial hair.
It was team full. Got paid. They probably got more paid more money in 1972 growing the mustache.
Or have that on the front, and then on the back just have all your faces with the staff. You're going to tell me that A's fans wouldn't?
That'd be a great T-shirt. Yeah.
Still working on an order of the Fosse Posse T-shirt. That should be in sometime a little bit later this summer.
Well, it was good to see Rick Williams, scout for the Braves now, son of the late Dick Williams, and could see him around as his dad was managing. He's a good man, scout.
Nasty breaking ball, and it snaps right in there for strike 3. 2 outs here in the 4th.
Lindsey hit a home run against his former team in Oakland, but this curveball frozen. Swung a curveball out of the strike zone, but this one started at him, buckled his knees just a little bit and caught the plate.
So with 2 outs, here's Chris Davis, who has the only hit in the game. Breaking ball for a strike. So I think that pitch he's throwing, even though it has a big break, I think it is a slider.
Yeah, it's more of a slurve, as they call it, in between a slider and a curveball, but it has a quick bite to it going outside. Fastball is not overpowering, but you throw enough breaking pitches, as he has done today. And the two-seam fastball running away from the left-handers. Oakland, and there's a strong Chris Davis.
I remember in Alaska when he was with the Marlins and he was racking up a fair amount of wins. He could throw that curveball anytime, and if he got ahead of you with a curve, boy, then he was tough. Or a slider.
Almost like Rich Hill. I mean, as far as the number of curves he throws, a different type of curveball.
Under the glove of Sano and Nunez, and Chris Davis is 2 for 2.
But once again, Chris Davis, as he did yesterday, 3 hits, and just every time he makes contact, watch out this ball. This should be caught, but it's so much topspin and so hard hit by the third baseman and the shortstop. He had to reach that thing. I got a chance for a play, and the ball is under his glove in the outfield. Never seen a guy hit his ball as hard as Chris Davis does, and especially ground balls on the infield that find a way to get to the outfield.
So with 2 outs, here's Stephen Vogt. Vogt hit into a 4-6-3 double play in the 2nd inning. Pitch misses outside. Nolasco has given up a fair amount of home runs. 14 home runs in 100 innings. And that one is hooked down the right field line, but it's going to go into the seats. Broken bat, and I would say the chip of the bat went about the same distance as the baseball. They just went in completely opposite directions.
Is it cupped at the end? That's usually what happens on a ball like this, hit off the end of the bat, and when it's cupped, it takes a small amount of weight off the end of the bat to get this better wood. But usually if the ball is hit towards the end of the bat and it's cupped, it's going to splinter it like that and have to get a new one.
asked Steve Ustinus, I said, how much weight does that take out? He says, not a lot. You'd think when it's cupped out.
Yeah, was it like it's like a half an ounce?
Yeah,
or
it's
right?
hardly anything at all. And you almost want to keep the extra weight and get maybe a lighter bat, but keep the full bat.
Nunez, the shortstop, drifts back into shallow center field, and he grabs it. Side retired, a hit and a runner left. Bottom of the fourth, it'll be Mauer, Sano, and Dozier. No score.
The luckiest man on the face of the earth. When you look around, wouldn't you consider it privilege to associate yourself with such a fine-looking man as is standing in uniform in this ballpark today? And I might have been given a bad break, but I've got an awful lot to live for.
Well, that is our true story, brought to you by McDonald's. One of the great sports speeches of all time. It was July 4th, 1939. Lou Gehrig Appreciation Day at Yankee Stadium. His number was retired that day. There's many great stories surrounding that speech, but one of them is that the MC, his name was Sid Mercer, told the crowd that he's not going to speak.
Yeah.
Because he's choked up, emotional, and he's not going to be able to do it. But then Joe McCarthy, the manager of the Yankees, finally got Lou Gehrig to go out there, and that's when he made that speech.
Yeah, it's a great story, and you're exactly right. And it's a speech that everybody will always remember. Actually, Major League Baseball does a thing where they take various players of today and do portions of that speech and kind of mix it together.
But also, the actual speech was longer.
Yeah.
But the parts of the speech that we always hear is it's all that there was. The recording got lost or something like that, and it's actually a little bit of a longer speech. But that's all that was recorded. Three and two the count to Joe Mauer. No score. Pitchers duel so far here at Target Field. Nice warm 4th of July. A very relaxed crowd today. (3-2) to Mauer. A line shot coming in left field. Coco Crisp, and he short hopped it, and it's going to be a base hit. So that's the first hit for the Twins.
And this is Joe Mauer at his best, and taking a ball that's running away from him to left field, and Coco almost made a remarkable play. He short hopped it, and fortunately he did catch it even though it short hopped. To keep it from going past him, he's going to use his body to block it anyway.
Opposite field hits, major league leaders. Joe Mauer tied for first. That's not a surprise. Here's Miguel Sano, fouls it at home plate. Sano struck out looking in the first. Well, look at Sano. He is a big fella. Media guide says 6'4", 260. He's only 23 years old. Started to hear about him about 4 years ago.
That's right.
About this huge hitting prospect that the Twins had. He got to the big leagues last year and had a good rookie season. 18 home runs, 52 RBIs in just 80 games.
The great Hall of Famer Hank Aaron always said, just hit it over the first row, over the fence in the first row. 755. If this guy gets some home runs, they're tape measures.
Yep.
And you just hope he can keep the ball from getting elevated in the air because he has tremendous power.
The issue with Sano is, where do you play him? Because he really has not mastered a position at the big league level. We saw him in right field in Oakland and he did not look good. He's playing third base right now.
Tony Olivo.
Yeah.
The number 6, Tony Olivo. And you know, we talk about the 1973, the first year of the designated hitter, Ron Blomberg. The first ever DH to hit a home run. You're looking at it right there. Tony Olivo hit it off Catfish Hunter. And I was talking to him about that today, and he said, you know, Catfish, I always took a pitch. He said, but he gave me that fastball first pitch, and I decided I'm going to swing and hit a home run. And that was the first ever home run by a DH. The great Tony Olivo, who probably should be in the Hall of Fame.
Sano takes inside, and now the Twins, for the first time, have a rally going against Graveman. So a single and a walk.
Kendall Graveman has had a few too many fly ball outs today, but he's looking for a ground ball out. He's gotten a couple so far, but when he pitches his best, it's usually in double figures, and they'd love to have one now to a young man who's hitting 4th and hit a whole bunch of home runs last year. Has 13 this year for the Twins.
The first pitch is hit to third. What a play. Valencia out at second, on to first, not in time. A sensational play by Valencia. That's get the out at second base.
That's a double and 2 runs batted in, but instead to his right. A great play, and just the force, because Dozier, even though he may have thought he had extra bases, hustling down the line to avoid the double play, but what a play by Danny Valencia. Jed Lowry with the runner sliding directly into second base, able to come across the back quickly and turn it, but not enough time.
Valencia started his career with the Twins. Here's Vargas. Works its way off the plate just a little bit. Vargas hit a shot up the middle that Simeon made a diving play on and threw him out. That was in the second inning.
He hits that same ball now. It might be tough to double him up because Jed Lowry is playing him to pull, and Simeon semi-shifting him. That's a good way to stop it.
Runner goes. Joe Dozier has a steal without a throw.
What a big jump by Dozier, and if you're thinking double play, that takes away any possibility, except now with the big man at the plate, they can pitch him carefully, if not put him on. And with Kepler, the rookie, coming up, struck him out first at bat. And this is where you have to kind of look, even though Vargas just coming into the Twins lineup.
Close pitch outside, and now it's 3-0. Graveman looks a little frustrated on the mound.
Yeah.
Really is not that far from
That's
being
a strike.
and I think that is a strike.
Look at the angle, though, where Manny Gonzalez is set up. We've talked about it often. And when they're angle like that, they're kind of guessing the pitch from the outside part of the plate. And I say that only because umpires have told me that.
So now the bases are loaded and 1 out. And for every young pitcher, the art of in-game adjustment, it could take a while. Graveman's getting there.
Exactly.
But you have to be able to do it. There's quality veteran pitchers that still have not mastered the art of in-game adjustments. Here's Max Kepler. He struck out in the second inning. And that pitch is off the plate. Vogt's going to try to calm this thing down. Second time through the lineup, the lowest average of the 3. So Mauer at third, Dozier at second, Vargas at first.
Great play by Valencia on a ground ball, almost a double play. A's are looking for a double play now.
Foul back. Second level.
That wasn't going to be a double play. Lucky that ball was fouled back.
He needs one of those right now. Toward Lowry. He's got it. Out at second. On to first. Not in time. Mauer comes in to score, and the Twins take a 1-0 lead. So Kepler has good speed, and the ball just was not hit hard.
Well, you hear the fans, but you're right. And that is as well as you could possibly try to turn a double play, but it just was hit a little bit too slowly, and he runs well, and he's young and smelling the possibility of an RBI instead of a double play. Get out of the inning and able to get it done.
So 24th RBI for Kepler. Here's Rosario with Dozier now at third. Kepler at first. Kepler's got a couple of steals this year. Twins as a team steal a lot of bases. They have 54. That's third most in the American League.
And sometimes you build a team around your manager. And Paul Molitor, a great aggressive player when he was playing for the Brewers and the Blue Jays and the Twins. In the Hall of Fame, 3,000 plus hits, inducted the same year as Dennis Eckersley in 2004, managing his second year of the Twins. I always say, if you're playing for Paul Molitor, you better run hard, because he did all the time.
Was there anybody faster getting out of the right-handed hitter's batter's box?
Well, there you are with 3 teams and 7-time All-Star and 3,319. The only player to get a triple for his 3,000th hit. All by the great John Gordon. I think it was in Anaheim. But you know, Kat, the one thing he always said, and it's a good lesson to have as a player, as a hitter, that when he hit the ball, he always thought about 2. So you run hard at first, you're always thinking a double, you can always stop. But in the event something happens, you end up able to do that. And we saw it over the weekend with the Pirates.
Molitor spent 64 days in the minor leagues. That was it. 1 season.
And if it had to been for Robin Yount, he would have been there longer.
He would have been there a little bit longer.
Robin said, and then Molly came up, and all of a sudden you got 2 great players, 2 future Hall of Famers.
3-1 the count to Eddie Rosario. Quick throw to first, and just getting back. Alonso says, wait a minute, we may want to take a look at this one.
And Adam Roden is close to the dugout. Mark Kotsay on the phone to him, and he was going. And see if his left hand got in. Maybe too close.
Well, Kepler, by using his left hand, that may have saved him. If
exactly.
he goes in with his right hand, he's going to be out.
Yeah. And I think that's a good call to, watch the left hand. The right hand is not going to get it, but he stopped the right hand, got the left one in, and Alonso tagged him on the right, probably not knowing that his left hand was on the back.
Very close.
And I think that's why Alonso reacted, because he didn't see the left hand, grabbed the back.
3-1 is tapped to Alonso. And Rosario may have swung at ball 4. Twins get a run. They do it on just 1 hit, but there was a couple of walks. So 5th inning coming up. 1-0 Minnesota. Going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. Twins lead 1-0 over the A's. It's the top of the 5th inning. So Semien, Alonso, and Burns for the A's. Shutdown inning opportunity for Nolasco. He has not been good in this spot. 56%. That sharp slider that he's seems to have a nice feel for. Maybe not so much earlier in the game, but last couple innings he has. He's got 2 strikeouts. He's walked 3.
Well, the one breaking it away and perhaps even out of the strike zone is a pitch that the A's trying to lay off.
So Semien down 0-2. Now it's back to the pitcher's first at bat and fastball. Pretty good pitch 0-2, but inside. Lots of day baseball being played. No surprise there. Curve is popped up and it'll be into the seats. Angels and the Rays are tied 2-2 in the 6th inning in St. Petersburg. Red Sox 5, Rangers 4 in the 4th in Boston. And the Mariners and the Astros are tied 1-1 in the 5th in Houston. Mariners have won 4 in a row. They're starting to try to get it together again.
Swept the Orioles over the weekend. A very powerful Orioles team that hit more home runs than anybody in the month of June.
One-two pitch, just a touch low. Swing and a miss. With a fastball, 92 miles an hour. Again, strikeout number 3.
Well, as we always say, if you throw a lot of off-speed pitches, a fastball, and Rich Hill proof of that on Saturday. This fastball right down the middle, and Marcus Semien may be thinking off speed, adjusting, but a fastball right there for him, but could not make contact. You seen a Rich Hill fastball the way it was on Saturday night? I mean, he just threw it by the Pirates hitters. 5 of his 6 strikeouts on the fastball. There's the lefty. Good to have him back. He'll be making his 2nd start in Houston. Pitched on Saturday against the Pirates. No decision, 6 innings.
A shot foul. So probably Thursday, right? That's when he would pitch.
That's exactly right.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday,
Yeah.
Wednesday. Yeah, Thursday.
First game in Houston.
Sonny Gray's pitching on Wednesday. Oh, 0-2 to Alonso, who walked in the 3rd inning. Blocked nicely by Centeno. One-two pitch is driven toward left. Rosario hustling back, and he'll get there a couple steps in front of the warning track. So 2 away.
Well, surprisingly for Alonso, who pulls a lot of pitches, to have the left field or the opposite field outfielder playing so deep, and Rosario was doing that. As that ball looked like it had a chance to get over his head, but as deep as he was playing, there's no chance. Playing deep, too deep for Billy Burns. We have seen guys play almost behind second base or shortstop with Billy Burns, but Rosario still playing deep.
First pitch strike to Burns on the outside corner. Burns struck out in the 3rd. Kind of squirted out of the hand of Nolasco.
How the Nationals and Brewers doing, because they started, what, 11 o'clock this morning?
Yeah, that's a final. The lineup snafu did not hurt the Brewers. They beat Max Scherzer 1-0. Wow. Martin Maldonado hit a home run for the Brewers. That's it. 1-0 is your final. So he's checking the box score right now on the MLB.com app.
Yeah, Ryan Braun hit out a turn.
He did hit out a turn, yeah.
But he didn't. He actually, because he always hits 3rd, he hit 3rd. Lucroy 4th, but evidently the lineup card that was passed out had them flip-flopped.
Yeah.
And once Ryan Braun got the base hit, Dusty Baker called him out, and the umpires called him out.
Yeah, that was the very first inning. And I guess from what I read about it, all year, Braun's hit 3rd, Lucroy 4th. For some reason today, they hit Lucroy 3rd and Braun 4th, and Braun just went up there like he always does. And he got a hit, and Dusty said, no. So what's funny is Braun then led off the next inning.
Yes, he did.
Lucroy's like, thanks a lot. Well, I'm just sitting here doing my thing, and I'm losing an at-bat. 3 up, 3 down inning, and a shutdown inning for Ricky Nolasco. It's tonight at 6 and 10:30. It's on CSN Bay Area, and this is a show you want to watch, folks, because we know what happened. Kevin Durant is now a Golden State Warrior, signed a contract today. So that is big news, not just in the NBA. I mean, that's huge sports news in general. And more big sports news for the Bay Area. Always something going on. So Kevin Durant is a Golden State Warrior. How'd they pull that off?
Yeah, it's a good point.
Wow. I mean, he's a top 5 player in the NBA, probably. So Durant coming to the Bay Area, a 7-time All-Star. He's been an MVP, 4 scoring titles. So it's a 2-year contract, and it's interesting, a player option for that 2nd year. And you can read all you want into that, but a lot of it has to do with salary cap and money moving around. So Kevin Durant is a Warrior. Possible the Warriors may lose Harrison Barnes, may lose Bogut, but I don't think any of that matters a whole lot when you get Kevin Durant.
So let's see. Steph Curry, Trace Thompson, Kevin.
Yeah, Klay Thompson,
Yeah, Trace is
Steph
baseball.
Curry, Draymond Green, and Kevin Durant.
So who gets the most shots? I was thinking Trace is the Dodgers doing quite well. Clay's brother.
So it'll be quite a group to watch. If you could imagine a team being more entertaining than the Warriors have been the last couple of years, this one may be that with Kevin Durant. So CSN Bay Area will have it all covered. CSNBayArea.com, and check out Monty Poole. He's the Warriors insider. He's been on top of this story. He's probably writing as we speak. Sportsnet Central tonight, 2 shows, 6 and 10:30. It'll be packed with Kevin Durant goodies. So 2 outs for Grayman, a couple of ground balls here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Talking to Adam Rowe, the A's video coordinator, of course, always involved in these games because he determines whether a player is to be challenged or not. And of course, Eric Housen, who is Mr. Everything for the Warriors, formerly with the Athletics. And so Adam said, just went right to the source. You know, a lot of rumors, but you know, the one guy must have given his blessing, Dr. Elliot Schwartz. Dr. Schwartz is very involved with a lot of the basketball players, and
nothing happens without Elliot.
That's right. Go to the physicals, and so Dr. Schwartz was on doing an interview and talking about the basketball players.
He's the go-to guy.
Yes, he is.
Elliot Schwartz.
That man.
That's a good way to end the inning right there. 1-0 Twins after 5. California is brought to you by USAA Insurance, banking and investments tailored for the military community. Hope you're having a great 4th of July. Nice flag raising today. They do a terrific job here in Minneapolis. They always honor retired servicemen and women. They do it every game, I believe.
Every game, and it's great.
It's very cool. Light Infantry Brigade. I'm just going to say gamer.
Gamer, absolutely. He's got the gamer face on too.
He does.
Well,
Hey,
you wear
top
that,
of the 6th, 1-0.
You wear that cap, you're a gamer.
Yeah. Top of the order. He's trying to get something going against Nolasco. They have not had a runner get to scoring position. Nolasco has walked 3, but a couple of big double plays early in the game kept the A's from putting anything together. Crisp has walked and hit a fly ball to left field. And this one's driven towards center. Santana in and reaches up to make the catch.
Now, the 17th annual A's Root Beer Float Day, supported in part by Dexam, Dryers Ice Cream, Whole Foods Market, and Zevia, is set for Tuesday, July the 19th. A's players, coaches, local celebrities, and more will serve fans refreshing root beer floats for $3 each. Proceeds benefit JDRF, adding to the nearly $450,000 the event has raised throughout the year. Sugar-free floats will be available also, and admission is free with a game ticket. It's coming up soon after the All-Star break. Look like they were honoring one of the military men, Twain.
Santana into left center, reaches up to make the catch.
Before last inning. And they played the song Sweet Home Alabama, which is Kendall Graven. So he all of a sudden has 6 ground ball outs. Maybe he heard that song and kind of got him going a little bit.
No question.
But it's not helped the offense. This is the first time since last Tuesday, Wednesday through Sunday, the A's had the early lead. And they were 1-4 in those games. Swept by the Pirates in the last one against the Giants. But maybe today, with the Twins scoring first and having the early lead, or at least the lead now before the A's, maybe that will help the A's and score late, because right now it's getting late in the 6th inning and still just the 2 hits.
And a quick 0-2. Nolasco throwing strikes. He's retired 11 out of the last 12. .88 pitches so far. 5 2/3. Reddick pops it up, headed for the upper deck. Just a little shy of the upper deck. It's the luxury boxes. Or you could just sit up there. How about that? Well down the left field line. That's got to be a great view.
That's it.
Because you're really not blocked anything that's happening on the field.
Got the Goose Island pub right below us, so that's a great place to watch baseball down.
Call downstairs for whatever you need. I think the Twins announcers should do a game from up there.
Only when Bert be home, Blyleven.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dick Bremer and Bert Blyleven could certainly do a game from up there. See, right up there.
Yeah, up on the roof.
Swing and a miss, struck him out, kept it away from Reddick. So 4 strikeouts for Nolasco. He's retired 7 in a row. Bottom of the 6th coming up. 1-0 Twins. A's Postgame Live as Shark Bite Best in the West premieres. This special Shark Bite chronicles the Sharks' Stanley Cup journey. Check out how the team handled the chaos of Media Day here from the Sharks. Who has the best beard? Birdie Brazil tours Pittsburgh, and incredible first Stanley Cup final game ever in San Jose as we live. It's all coming up after A's Postgame Live, so that should be good stuff. Produced by Sean Day, one of the many talented people at Comcast. So bottom of the 6th inning, the Twins leading 1-0. Mauer, Sano, and Dozier. Only run coming in the 4th inning. That one's drilled toward left center field. Burns on the run. He can't get it. He picks it up on the warning track. But Joe Mauer is aboard for the 3rd time. He's got a walk, a single, and a double. That's vintage Joe Mauer.
That's exactly right. 8th of the season, probably all 8 in that direction. His first inning walk was his 48th, so he's the top of the pack in that, and he's hustling for 2. Nobody at second base, so he's going to have the ball slicing away from center fielder Billy Burns. Speed in center, speed in left, and also great coverage in right field, but that ball sliced away from Billy Burns, and maybe a home run with the Metrodome, but a double here.
So here's Sano. First pitch is high. As far as career hits go for Joe Mauer, he now has 1,773 career hits.
The length of his contract, he will have an opportunity to pass a lot of the former Twins who for many years never had an opportunity to leave, and Joe Mauer with his contract and homegrown product probably will never leave either.
Mauer's contract runs through 2018, so he has 2 years left on it after this year. So he should get career hit in 2000 at some point. So where does he stand in Minnesota Twins history as far as total hits? He's 4th behind Jody Tony Oliva, the great Rod Carew, and Kirby Puckett. But Kirby Puckett, 2,300 hits, and how long did Kirby play? 11 years?
11 years, yeah.
Wow.
And that's the reason he's in the Hall of Fame.
Right at Simeon, and Sano cannot get the runner over. So 12 years for Kirby Puckett.
But you're based on your best 10, and he averaged 200 hits a year. I mean, obviously you get that many, you amass that many, and his retired number 1 of several retired, the great Kirby Puckett. And talk about somebody saying jump on my back in Game 6 of the World Series, and he hit the big home run to take him to Game 7, and Dan Gladden won it. And actually scored the winning run.
I high-fived Kirby's statue today as I walked over.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody saw me. I didn't want anybody to think it was weird, so I just did a quick high-five.
Well, Rod Washington, of course, the A's third base coach, was his first roommate.
That's right.
They said, Kirby, we want you to room with Wash because Wash knows the ropes.
Wash was probably hitting them fungos in the room.
Kirby would jump up at the, what do they call that, baggy roof or baggy wall at the Metrodome? Glad bags. Yeah, Wash, and Kirby showed up and he said, you room with Wash. Kirby and Wash, I can imagine that pair. Kirby was a great player, Wash, his mentor.
Tap to Graveman, who reaches up, throws it to first, and Dozier is out. 2 outs, and Mauer is still at second. You want to see Ron Washington as a Twin? There he
Number
is.
38. I hope his helmet falls off so we can see the hair. Driving in Kirby Puckett.
Watch the great play by
Pickett
Wash.
You know, he was a catcher when he first started. There it is. Check out the moss. Ron Wash.
Good stuff. Twins, Dodgers, Indians, Astros, and Orioles in his big league career.
And a memorial service for Kirby Puckett at the Metrodome, which I'm sure was packed. Wash came back and spoke. A very touching sight, and of course touching time for him. Because Kirby passed away way too soon. I remember seeing him at the Hall of Fame induction of Eckersley and Paul Molitor and the great Kirby Puckett. And he had so much energy, so much life.
And so that was 2004.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Kirby had just been inducted. So they're talking about it, and ground out to short. A great play by the pitcher Graven on Dozier's ball, now trying to get the tough Vargas.
Touch low, and it's 2-0.
And once again, it could be kind of talking about, even though Vargas, look at his numbers, he's just with the club, so you got the rookie behind, but this kid standing at the plate just looks imposing.
Yes, he does. David Ortiz.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
A couple years ago, they were thinking Kenny Vargas may be their David Ortiz, right? Long time, stick him in there and let him DH.
Difference in Vargas, they'll probably keep him.
Yeah,
unlike let him pick Poppy go.
Well, in 2014, Vargas came up. He played in 53 games, and he had 274 with 9 home runs. But then last year, up and down between the big leagues and the minor leagues, and the production slipped. Batting average down to 240 and just 5 home runs. He's a switch hitter.
Tom Bernansky, of course, those great teams. Now the hitting coach for Paul Molitor.
Swing and a miss, 3-2.
Throws that same pitch again. That's a tough pitch. Hard slider down and in. He swings over. He's taking fastball. He sees it, and then it disappears. And that's why it's such a great pitch. You throw it to the back foot. This would be the left foot of the left-handed hitter.
When hit hard into the shift, Lowry has it on to first, side retired. So Joe Mauer leads off with a double, and that is where he is stranded. So 7th inning coming up. It's 1-0, and on this Independence Day, USAA honors those who have served and all of our service members at home and abroad. I think it is now the top of the 7th. So the A's have had trouble getting anything going against Ricky Nolasco. He's retired 7 in a row. He is at now 94 pitches.
And that was a hanger to hit right there. That was a pitch, a curveball, but the curveball, a lot of hitters will sit fastball and try to make an adjustment, and he takes a strike on a hittable pitch and then swings at a pitch out of the strike zone.
Valencia has lined out to the pitcher, and he has struck out. Did he go? No,
Chase slider, chase breaking ball, and so bullpen activity for the Twins with the pitch count being what it is.
Taylor Rogers, the left-hander. Twins have 3 lefties in their bullpen. Inside, and now the count is even 2-2. Valencia's scuffling right now. He's 0 for his last 17 and 2 for his last 27. This is the worst slump of his season.
Yeah.
He has not had a whole lot of slumps this year. Pretty consistent. Searching a little bit right now.
He might have been thinking off speed, and he's happy that somebody, as soon as he swung late, he knew the ball was going to go to the seats.
Well, there's a fence, a screen actually above the Twins dugout and above the A's dugout. So a little added security there for the fans sitting behind the dugouts. That one rolled foul, and it'll be a broken bat. See, all the stadiums had extra protection added, but I would say this is as much as we've seen in a ballpark.
And you know what's nice about it? You can hardly see it. So
I didn't notice it till just now.
I did not either. Exactly right. And you know, fans didn't want the obstruction, but if you're going to be protected, especially, you have to pay attention. In that case of Danny Valencia, the right-handed hitter, the ball went to the right side. Usually that late swing will result in a foul ball to the opposite side, and so there's a good shot of the screen above. Well, Boston was one of the first to do that. We saw that in Fenway where they extended it down. Some people say it's not high enough, but it was extended to the dugouts, which are a road trip from home plate anyway.
That one's driven right center field, and it's past the center fielder Santana, and Valencia is going to have a leadoff double.
Well, for some reason, Alasko threw him another fastball, and Danny Valencia ends his hitless streak of several at-bats with a high fastball. And good to see him wait long enough to hit this ball and slice it into right center. Santana with excellent speed, looked like he might have a chance, but the ball just kept going, and passed him for a leadoff double. Now the A's have to do something with Valencia, who fouled the fastball to the right side over the dugout and was a little concerned. Got another fastball and put it in play. A good shot.
So here's Davis. Davis goes after the first pitch. It was a breaking ball. 2 singles this afternoon for Chris Davis to get his average to 264. So he has 7 hits in his last 11 at bats. Stephen Vogt will be next. So for the first time, the A's have a runner in scoring position today. So they have 3 shots to tie this game up. Towards short, Valencia trying for third, and the throw was wide, but they still got him.
Well, it was wide, and he's going to look, and maybe Bob Melvin's going to take a look, because was it tag applied quickly enough? Well, he's going to go around, and the throw is to the left, and if his foot, boy, that look, I guess not close enough. Are they going to take a look at it? Good, because check the right foot. If it's on the bag, we got him late. That is Jim Reynolds, the third base umpire, but the throw to the left, bringing it back at the right foot, and get him on the backside before he was tagged, and maybe looked like the third baseman, Sano, as big as he is, tried to block.
Yeah, with his foot.
Yeah, exactly. All right, here's the one that's probably going to look at as he tagged him. Snow cone, he didn't get it. According to that shot, he did not get it. You're right. Because from the one straight on, and that's probably the one Jim Reynolds looked at.
Well, like we say, he looked more safe than out.
Yeah.
Now, is that enough?
Especially when Sano have to reach for the throw.
Yeah, a good throw, and Valencia's going to be out, but the throw was, it forced Sano to reach up, and that allowed Valencia to what looked like to get in there. So a huge call. You just hope that there's enough evidence to overturn it.
Well, this is the angle here, because look, his foot's on the bag, and yet the tag has not been applied. And even though Sano tried to block him with his right foot, and Jim Reynolds, if he had turned around or moved to the left, he probably would have had a better angle. And again, let's hope New York, who's watching this and will make the ultimate call, can see that the tag on that one shot, because it looked like the right foot was in the ball in the snow cone in the glove of Sano as he's trying to make the tag. All right, that's huge.
That's a huge call, and it goes the A's way, and Valencia makes it to third. So first and third, nobody out.
That's fielding cover, the crew chief at second base. He made the call. Fans are booing, but you know, in all honesty, and while the hometown fans are upset, the one shot, which is a great shot by our great crew, showed that it looked like the ball was not applied to the back of Valencia before the foot got in the bag. That would be a fielder's choice, and you know, gutsy play by Nunez. And if he makes a good throw, Kuip, like you said, he's out, but it was to the left, and now the A's a golden opportunity thanks to that play.
So first and third, nobody out for Vogt.
And halfway for the Twins on the infield up the middle. Sano at third, even with the bag.
First pitch to Vogt. Reach for, and he fouls it. Vogt has hit into a double play, and he has popped to short. Seems like these were the spots all weekend, Ray, where the A's just could not come through. They were 3 for 23 in that Pirates series with runners in scoring position. Now that's doesn't mean that's going to come into play here, but was a frustrating situation for the A's.
5th, 6th, and 7th, they had runner at third and less than 2 outs, did not get him in. Had 5 opportunities to do it and couldn't do it. And they have to realize that was Tonkin, the right-hander, joining Rogers in the bullpen, so lefty righty. And it's a pitch count. Tonkin, the tall righty, the veteran. But the A's have to find a way to take advantage of the mistake that Nunez made trying to get the run at third.
So now 1-2 the count. Vogt a little off balance with that swing.
It just seems that Stephen Vogt and the hitters are not able to stay back on the off-speed pitches. They're seeing a ton of curveballs. Surprisingly, and maybe because they are out on the front foot, a majority of ground balls have been outs. Not so many in the air as we normally see with a pitcher throwing off-speed pitches.
1-2 pitch, good take as the ball was in the dirt. Centeno blocks it and then grabs it.
Well, the block is great. The best part about this is Stephen Vogt not committed. He started, recognized the pitch out of the strike zone, and definitely did not come close to going. So no, or the catcher Centeno making a great block. But one of the concerns for a hitter, and we've seen it, Semien get the fastball after all these curveballs.
2-2 pitch, reached for, hit down the left field line. Rosario is going to watch it go into the seats. So 109 pitches now for Ricky Nolasco. That is a season high in pitches. But this is his first high stress inning.
After just 93 pitches, or actually 93, I say just, that's a lot in today's world. And through 6 innings, he goes back out for the 7th.
A line drive left field, and it's going to get down for a hit. Valencia trots in, and the A's have tied up the ball game at 1 on Stephen Vogt's RBI single.
That's a great at bat by Stephen Vogt to wait, and got the high fastball from Nolasco, and that's out of the strike zone. And Paul Molitor is probably going to make a pitching change, but Stephen Vogt The A's do take advantage of this pitch out of the strike zone. Stephen Vogt waiting, did not offer it. The curveballs, fouled them off, and then finally got a fastball. And Rosario, there's a case caught from playing so deep, he couldn't catch it and came up short on the ball.
So Ricky Nolasco pitches well, but he will not get a win today. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
The Coliseum, where fans can bring their dogs to the A's 7:05 p.m. game against the Tampa Bay Rays. Special ticket is required for Bark at the Park. Presented by Avenderm, Nalabone, and PetSmart. This event sells out annually. It sure does. And limited tickets do remain, though. For information and tickets, visit athletics.com/bark to register for this special night. Bark at the Park. Should be a special night. So the A's only 2 hits in the first 6 innings. 2 hits in this inning. Ricky Nolasco is finished with 6+ innings. Good outing, but right now leaves with a couple of runners on base.
And nobody out.
You know, the one thing you have to give the Twins credit is Taylor Rogers, the lefty, comes in to face the righty Marcus Semien. And then the lefty Alonso, switch hitter Burns, and Crisp and Lowry, all 3 switchers to follow.
Semien not bunting, and the first pitch, a fastball for a strike from the young left-hander Taylor Rogers.
Rogers made 1 appearance against the A's on Memorial Day. That was relief of Santana, and it's a game in which Centennial, who threw out Coco Crisp at second on a perfect throw after this left-hander walked Coco. The A's did win the game as they swept the Twins in that series. Mostly fastballs from the left-hander, as he showed first offering to Semien, a throw, slider, and a changeup.
One pitch out in front, hits it foul down toward the far end of the A's dugout. So now Semien behind in the count, 1-2. So the A's have tied it here in the top of the 7th inning, and now you have a great opportunity to take the lead. Semien has grounded out and struck out. Swing and a miss. 94 miles an hour on the fastball. Almost like a sneaky 94, if there's such a thing.
Alonso being called back. I thought maybe Billy Butler would be pinch hitting since they brought the lefty in to face the righty Semien, thinking that Alonso, the lefty, is due up, which he was, and Billy Butler now is going to pinch hit for him. Semien, a fastball, could not handle.
So here is Butler pinch hitting for Alonso. Davis at second, Vogt at first.
Well, in Graveman's game in San Francisco, as you mentioned, that was Butler coming through with a big 2-run single to straightaway center.
A slider and a good one from Rogers. Billy Butler is 4 for 18 with 5 RBIs as a pinch hitter this year.
In the game in Oakland, in relief of Santana, he did strike out 2, and Jed Lowry was 1, Stephen Vogt the other. A strikeout to Simeon in this game, now facing the pinch hitter Butler.
Well, Rogers, a starter in his minor league career. This is the first year he's got to the big leagues. Good pitch there, 92 miles an hour. Tall and thin, 6'3", 170 pounds is Taylor Rogers.
And the Twins must not be afraid to have him pitch against righties. And that ball crossing the plate, and it's a pretty good call by Manny Gonzalez. A lot of umpires will not call the pitch, thinking it's inside.
1-2, big pitch here. And it's tapped up the third base line, but foul.
Billy just needs to get the ball in the air somehow. Avoid hitting the ball on the ground unless it gets through the infield.
Another 1-2. Here it is. And a fastball running away 93 miles an hour. Butler, broken bat, little pop-up, shallow left field, and it will fall. Nunez, the shortstop, ends up picking it up, tries to hustle it back in. So Butler with a broken bat single, and the bases are loaded, still only 1 out.
Well, I still say if you have an outfielder playing as deep as Rosario does, and granted he maybe not an accomplished outfielder, but if outfielders play deep, that means they don't go back very well. And look how deep he's playing. A little circuitous route to get to the ball, could not get to it. So Vogt's ball drops in front of Rosario, and now Billy Butler with a ball where he's jammed, and Jake Smolinski is going to pinch hit for Billy Burns. And see if Paul Molitor, yeah, he's wanted to see if the move has been made before he brings in the right hitter Tonkin. Somebody's pointing from the Twins dugout to get confirmation of the move that's been made by Bob Melvin. See, they have to figure out all the matchups, you know, before they can decide a move.
Davis down at third, Vogt at second.
Yeah, they're saying, that's Paul Molitor saying, go halfway. If he hits the ball hard, he can run, and Smolinski can, and he's going to a couple of pinch hitters in this inning.
Smolinski swinging the bat well as of late. He taps one toward the mound. Rogers has it, and he drops it. It's picked up by the catcher Centeno, and he held on.
Wow.
And now Bob Melvin's coming out. Is there a question whether Centeno had it?
Well, you're right about Taylor Rogers dropping the ball. He had it plenty of time and then bobbled it as he tried to make the feed.
Well, it was kind of a snow cone, but it did look like he had it in his glove.
And check his right foot. His right foot is laying on the bag, on the plate, as he reached back.
You see snow cone, but I mean, I do think he had it.
Yeah.
So almost a disaster for the Twins, almost a huge break for the A's. Could be an interference situation. Field and Culbreth, the crew chief, walking in from second base.
Usually the defender has the right, but I mean, it was an easy play. They were not going to double up Smolinski, but there's no chance for the runner That was Chris Davis trying to come in and touch the plate. And Rogers is lucky that the ball continued instead of dropping straight down. And he almost tried to help it by pushing the ball. But once Centeno held on to the ball, then it looked like everything was good as far as keeping his foot on the bat.
So now Coco Crisp will try to give the A's the lead. First pitch is a strike. Coco Crisp, a .400 batting average with runners in scoring position this year. It's second best in the entire league. Swing and a miss. Rogers. It's good stuff.
But it did walk off Coco on Memorial Day, as I mentioned, throw him out. Centeno did, but this time a walk would help the A's, but not with that breaking ball. So let's hope the newfound shoes of Coco Crisp on America's birthday work out well for him.
That one tapped foul. He went with that breaking ball again.
Kendall Graveman threw a great one to Vargas. A great slider down and in. Then he hung a slider. So I think the A's and Coco are hoping that if Rogers throws as many breaking pitches as he has, he may hang another one.
Fastball away, 93 miles an hour.
In Anaheim against Santiago. And to left center. Santiago beating the ground with his hand after Coco hit the slam. Unfortunately, that was not enough. Santiago smart enough to use his non-throwing hand.
Coco hits that one hard, but foul. Coco has 3 career grand slams and a good average with the bases loaded, 308. There's a base hit center field. 1 run scores. Here comes Butler, and he will score. Coco comes through again, and the A's lead 3-1.
Finally threw him a fastball. Fastball away, trying to back it up inside. And missed, and Nolasco looks on because those are his runs. But Coco with a fastball in. Look where he left the pitch. Right in the middle of the plate. Coco down on it. It went past the pitcher. Dozier with a great effort at second and into center field. And if you're a base runner, and I don't care who you are, you better be prepared to run because Ron Washington's going to send him, and Billy Butler motoring country breakfast and throw up the first baseline. Fortunately, and Billy Butler able to score. So a pinch hit single by Butler, and he scores a run. That's a big hit by Coco.
So the A's 3 runs and 4 hits here in the top of the 7th inning. Coco gets RBIs 36 and 37. Fouled off the catcher Centeno. So 2 of the runs charged to Nolasco. Oh-2 pitch to Lowry. Here it is. No swing as they check with C.B. Bucknor.
See how quickly Manny Gonzalez, he's not going to take any chance, just point.
Sure.
That's what they should do. The home plate umpire, as soon as the check swing by Jed Lowry, he pointed to first base C.B. Bucknor and said, it's out of my hands. Whatever you want to call, you can. And that's the best thing a home plate umpire can do.
Strike 3 call to Lowry as he drops the bat. But the A's do some damage. They score 3 times here in the top of the 7th inning to take a 3-1 lead as we have reached the 7th inning stretch. So we're also going to keep it here on the 4th of July. Listen in. God Bless America is coming up.
on CSN California is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience TV.
So the A's now have the lead, scoring 3 times in the top of the 7th inning to take a 3-1 lead. Good looking group there, enjoying the 4th of July. So Kendall Graveman now working with the lead. Some changes for the A's. Billy Butler stays in the game. He is at first base. Smolinski stays in the game. He is in left field. Coco Crisp slides over the right. That one's hit in the air to right. And Reddick has it. So Smolinski in left, Crisp in center, Reddick still in right. So see if Kendall Graveman can get a shutdown inning. He has not been good with those.
Well, the last 9 outs before the fly ball to right field have been recorded on the ground. As Graveman with the 8 of 16 shutdown innings, but a good start in this, the 7th inning. But he had 3 fly ball outs in the 3rd inning, and then 9 consecutive ground ball outs before this fly ball to right field. But I think a good thing for Bob Melvin, Kurt Young, the fact that Kendall Graveman's going out for the 7th. And that is always important to be able to help the back end of the bullpen.
Simeon out. Smolinski in. 2 away. And that'll break him. Juan Centeno. Kendall Graveman, 27 consecutive starts of 7 innings or fewer. 5th longest streak in Oakland history. So that's a streak you want to break. Or as we like to say, you don't want to be on that list. So here's Centeno, the left-handed hitting catcher, who has hit a fly ball to center, and he has grounded out to second. Fastball and a good one right on the inside corner. 5 in a row retired by Graveman. That's a swing. 0-2. With that play at third base. Tried to hold up. That play at third base, you start looking at the top of the 7th inning. And I think it was a defensive mistake only because he took a chance. Okay, that's fine. But a good throw and Valencia's out. So they don't get anybody. And what it does is it gives the A's an extra hitter in that inning.
Exactly.
And that extra hitter was Coco Crisp.
That's a good point. Great point, because you're right. Sometimes you take a chance, but if you're going to take a chance at the 7th inning, it's got to be 100%, especially the ball in front of you. And Valencia, while he maybe made a mistake by going to third, trying to go with the ball in front of him, it worked out well. But the fast or the quick throw by Nunez, and said earlier, and you're correct about the number of errors, and while that was not an error, it's a fielder's choice, but bottom line,
it's a mistake.
You know, that's as big as an actual number in the error column. And here's the play, and the ball, and then Nunez said, well, ball in front, but the throw to the left, and while Jim Reynolds called him out, it was challenged and overturned. And great camera work showing that Sano had not applied the tag quickly enough, and the right foot got in. If he had kept his right foot down, and maybe the fact that Valencia slid feet first, it prevented Sano from actually putting his body in front of the slide. Head first, you can do that. Feet first, a little bit more concerned about the spikes. Kendall Graveman, 4 pitches, 2 fly ball outs, and now 0-2 to this hitter, and now 3-2.
Down the right field line. Should be into the seats, and it is. Centeno shaking his hand, so he must have hit that off the end of the bat. Right at 100 pitches for Graveman. His high this year is 111. off the foot. Tough at bat for Centeno.
That's hard slider down and in, and not surprised to have a hitter hit on top of the ball. Not the sharp breaking one they threw to Vargas earlier, but the fact that it was a breaking pitch, slower, Centeno hammered it off his foot. See, where's all that catching, Gary, when he's behind the plate, but none of it on his body when he's hitting.
Checks his swing, and he did not go. So a 2-out walk gives the Twins a base run.
I saw Ryan Dahl warming up earlier, and of course, he's the great one. 34 for 34. Heritage runners not scoring, and did not swing, no check swing, but laid off the slider down and in.
So that'll bring up Danny Santana, the switch hitting center fielder. And he rips one to right, and that's a hit. So a little 2-out rally for the Twins. So decision time for A's manager Bob Melvin. He's on the steps.
Ryan Dahl's loosening up, and why wouldn't you go to your best Heritage base runners? And he's thinking about it. Backdoor slider did not break sharply, and Bob Melvin is going to come out as Centeno thought about going to third, decided against it.
So Graveman very good today. And he is done for the afternoon. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
Show on Saturday, July the 23rd, presented by Lagunitas. The legendary concerts at the Coliseum feature the Rolling Stones, David Bowie, The Who, U2, Led Zeppelin, and many more. The fireworks show will be set to music from select day or the green performers. Fans can watch the show from the outfield grass, but you know, as always, on-field capacity is limited. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/fireworks.
That's Bob Dylan, and this is the home of Bob Dylan. It's kind of cool.
Was it Prince from here?
Prince was from here as well, indeed.
He had the big. But Kendall Graveman, good job, and now he's got to sit and wait. 102 pitches for the right-hander, and actually had the third hitter in the inning. Centeno on the ropes, 0-2, ended up walking him. Then a first pitch single and turns it over to Ryan Dahl.
So the first pitch to Nunez is high. So 2 on, 2 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Dahl 2-2 with a 2.18 ERA. You know the numbers. He has stranded all 34 of his inherited runners this year. He has allowed just 1 earned run in his last 18 innings. And really, it's as great as that number is, or 1 in 18 innings. Really, his job and where he's at in this bullpen is about stranding runners.
Absolutely.
Very seldom does he start an inning.
And this may be just trying to get through this inning. We'll see what Bob Melvin decides. Right now, the most important is this young man, Edward Nunez.
Nunez swings wildly, and the count is 1-2.
And you almost want to get to the point where the hitter is ahead in the count because of this pitch, the slider. And that was not a great slider. He usually throws it down and away, and see if Stephen Vogt calls it in the location to try to get Nunez to chase the slider out of the strike zone. That was a hanger that you don't want to see a pitcher throw again.
1-2 pitch up the middle. Semien has it. He'll flip to second, and they got him. Nice play by Marcus Semien.
What a play. And Nunez just fired his helmet. Thought he had a base hit, but a tremendous play by Marcus Semien, especially to flip the ball back to Jed Lowrie.
So that's how the bottom of the 7th ends. A couple of runners stranded for the Twins.
Look where he's playing. Nunez hit the ball, looked like up the middle. The fact that Marcus did not have to leave his feet. He could reach down, catch the ball, flip it back across his body to Jed Lowrie stretching at second base, and Philip Culbreth, the second base umpire, making the call as Jed had his foot on the bag, upended, and that's the frustrated Nunez. Thought he had a base hit up the middle. But a great play by Semien, and you look at a player, and Cop, we've talked about this, how you separate offense and defense. Marcus Semien 0 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts, yet defense up the middle. That's where you play both sides of the baseball. You excel one, maybe not the other, but a great pitch.
And it's Michael Tonkin, third pitcher of the afternoon for the Twins. He'll face Reddick, Valencia, and Davis. On the ground towards second. Dozier has it, and it's out number 1. How about this way? Watch the slide.
That's right.
This is not a good slide by Santana.
Yeah.
You're just trying to beat the throw.
Yeah. And actually,
the only object you're having there is to try to beat the throw quickest into the bag.
Yeah.
That was more of a I'm going to take the guy out.
Right. And really, he could have been called out anyway from sliding past the bag.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's a great point you make, because you're right. You get to the bag because it's going to be a close play.
Yep.
Get to it as quickly as you can.
Valencia swings through it. Valencia, a big hit in this game. He led off the 7th inning with a double. And he scored later on in that inning, and that's when the A's scored the 3 runs. He has also lined out, and he has struck out.
Michael Tonkin, basically sinker slider. Most relievers, at least a lot, come out of the bullpen with those 2 primary pitches. Good velocity. He's a veteran, tall, and he knows how to pitch.
Very close. 96 miles an hour. Tonkin can't believe it.
I can't believe it either. Look at the catcher, hold his mitt, perfectly thrown over the plate, and there's your angle of the home plate umpire.
Another close pitch.
That's called the slot. They set up in a slot. And that's what Manny Gonzalez, and he really is not able to see the outside part of the plate. At least today, he has not. See, he doesn't even move when Centeno does, but he's going to call that one.
Was Danny Valencia may have a chat with Gonzalez, but that looked like a pretty good pitch.
It's as good as the one that was called the ball, maybe a little bit better, a little bit higher, had more of the plate, or at least almost the same on the corner. But the consistency is what you're looking for, and
so 2 away here in the top of the 8th, and that'll bring up Chris Davis. First pitch, a touch outside. Tonkin's throwing some great pitches.
I mean, they're great pitchers' pitches, but you think I'm not getting a hit or a swing, but they should be called a strike, and they're not.
Easy 95, and Davis swings through it. 1-1 the count.
That extra couple of miles per hour might have been frustration.
Sweeping slider and a good one. So now Davis behind in the count. He's got a couple of hits today, 2 singles. And Gonzalez says you went around. Interesting inning for A's hitters. So bottom of the 8th coming up. A's 3, Twins 1. Game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 3-6-0 for the A's, getting all 3 of their runs in the 7th inning. For the Twins, 1-3-0. They got their run in the 4th inning. Kendall Graveman was good today. So was Ricky Nolasco. But Coco Crisp with the big hit, a 2-out, 2-run single in that 7th inning. So Ryan Dull is back out there. He's going to face the heart of the order. Mauer, Sano, and Dozier. Bottom of the 8th inning. A's have yet to retire Joe Mauer. He has walked, singled, and doubled. So 2 more runners stranded. Longest streak in Major League Baseball history to start a season. 36 for 36 inherited runners. He came in that 7th inning, inherited 2 runners, stranded them both. So tacked on 35 and 36.
And you know, when somebody has a streak like that, whether it's a hitting streak, a games played, any kind of a streak, you would think they got to be thinking about it. But you just have to wonder if Ryan even thinks about what he has accomplished. I'm sure all the attention he's been given, and especially as tomorrow night approaches, and you still don't know who's going to be representing the Athletics.
Right, all-star starters, rosters announced tomorrow.
But if you think Ned Yost, the manager, who knows how important the bullpen is, Ryan Dull may be a consideration. How about that pitch?
Outside corner, strike 3 called. So Joe Mauer will spin around, head back to the dugout.
Well, it's not April 4th of July, but April 25th, 1976. How about this, guy? At Los Angeles, a father and a son tried to ignite the American flag, and Rick Mundy with the Chicago Cubs came in and swooped up the flag. He smelled something the first match did not like, and that was 40 years ago this year, April the 25th, that Rick Mundy, as he said, a career in baseball, but all I'm ever remembered for is saving the flag. And he said, if that's all I'm ever remembered for, then I'm very happy. And we are very happy as well that he saved the flag.
What happened to that father and son? That's what I'd like to know.
Well, I'd like I know Vin Scully, who was doing the broadcasting, he had a few choice words that he didn't hold back. And
good for him.
Absolutely.
It's a bad move.
It's a horrible move. And, you know, at the time, and Rick just reacted, and first ever player drafted in 1965 by the Kansas City Athletics, Rick Mundy, now broadcaster for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He ended up playing for the Dodgers, and the fans at that game, although he's with the Cubs, started chanting and cheering him and said, Rick Mundy just saved the flag, and it's quite a moment.
Simeon has it, gets a nice hop. And so Sanoa's retired.
No,
sad thing about that is the father dragged his son out.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Enough about that.
Yeah, but you know, and really, fortunately, there was enough of a wind that the first match didn't light, or did, and it blew out, and gave time for Rick Mundy to react quickly enough to come in and do what he did. And you know, it's something that we'll always remember, and whether it's a holiday or not, it's something that will always be remembered in America.
So 2 away here in the 8th. And that'll bring up Brian Dozier. Dozier is 0 for 3. Just 3 hits for the Twins. Fastball, a touch inside. Dozier is the cleanup hitter for the Twins.
He was leading off for the Twins. He was hitting second, and now with the injuries and the fact that he's hitting so well, he is in that 4th spot. Just hope he looks at the lineup card every day.
Yeah, make sure you're in the right spot. Fouled straight back, got a high fastball. The Tampa Bay Rays beat the Angels 4-2. That just went final. Matt Moore got the win, the left-hander. His name's popping up in trade rumors a lot. Sounds like the Rays are maybe willing to deal a starter or two. They got they always seem to have a boatload of young starters. Ryan Dull faces 4 hitters today, retires them all with a couple of strikeouts. 9th inning coming up from Minneapolis. 3-1 A's. Sports Talk Live. That is tonight at 5 o'clock on CSN Bay Area. Guy Haberman's going to host. Tim Kawakami, who's pretty much on top of everything, actually Warriors related, he's going to be there. Monty Poole, our Warriors insider for CSN, he's going to be there. And Rick Barry, the Hall of Famer, is going to call in, and they will all talk about that guy right there, Kevin Durant, who signs a free agent contract with the Golden State Warriors earlier today. So make sure you tune in to Sports Talk Live at 5 o'clock on CSN Bay Area, and then Sportsnet Central at 6 o'clock. So CSN will have it covered tonight. And Kevin Durant signing with the Golden State Warriors.
Well, just when you think that basketball season's over and you start thinking baseball,
that's true.
Here we go.
That's true.
That's why these sports, and baseball does it as well, it's year-round. You have signings, you have awards given. And of course, with the Olympics coming up next month, I guess Steph Curry has to get well, I guess, so he's not going to participate.
No, I don't blame him.
I don't either. I mean,
he gets knocked around enough.
Yeah.
2-2 the count to Stephen Vogt. Tonkin out there for his second inning. Matson is out in the A's bullpen. And Stephen Vogt lines one to right field for a hit, so he's 2 for 4.
Biggest one of the day, and maybe his year, was his last one that he hit the left field first and third after all the curveballs from Velasco. Fastball here from Tonkin that he pulls. But the one from Velasco, who was throwing a lot of off-speed pitches, hit to left field. Great hit by Stephen Vogt.
Astros beat the Mariners 2-1. McCullers over Miley. Pitching duel down in Houston, but the Astros get the win. So that breaks the Seattle Mariners 4-game winning streak. Red Sox are leading the Rangers 9-4 in the top of the 8th inning at Fenway. They move the fences in at Fenway or something lately? My goodness.
Angels
gracious.
thought so, huh?
Man.
20 runs. Ryan Matson getting loose. You know, the problem you're starting to see is so many position players getting a chance to pitch.
Well, it's been, and I'm, what did I see? 6 in the last 10 days or something like that. That's never a good sign.
Well, it's great, and guys seem to have fun with it, but you hope guys don't get hurt like Goins did.
Yeah,
Goes on the
Goins
DL after pitching an inning. You know, nobody will ever match what Jose Canseco did. Blew out his elbow pitching. Jose always wanted to throw knuckleballs.
Was that before or after the ball hit him in the head in right field?
That was after. Yeah, I mean, I think it. Yeah. He kept saying, "Let me pitch, and you figured at that point no other position player would ever pitch, but it's not the case. Maybe now if Goins went on the DL, he might not.
Marcus Semien 0 for 3, but as we saw, terrific defensive play to save a run. And he swings at that slider, he missed it. So Semien strikes out for the 3rd time.
Fans, follow Athletics Baseball live with the MLB.com at that app. Stay up to the moment, any moment, with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and your tablet. A's fan enjoying this 4th of July day game here in the Twin Cities.
Billy Butler, his second at bat. He had a big base hit in that 7th inning. Butler got a broken bat base hit. In the bottom of the 9th, it will be Vargas, Kepler, Rosario. 3 left-handed hitters. Butler toward third, and it's under the glove of Sano and into left field. He tried to charge it, and when he charged it, he almost looked like he played it into a tough hop. So that's going to be an error.
Well, you have to know who's hitting, and all Sano had to do is just sit back. If he only gets one, maybe affords at second, and worse, he gets Billy Butler at first, but he did create an error. That's why he's been given one.
Take a step back, play a good hop, and you'll still probably turn the double play. So for the Twins, error number 57 on the year, most in the league.
But to your point about trying to find a position for him, and like Ron Washington has said about Marcus Semien, other shortstops, and you look around the league, a lot of those shortstops have played shortstop their whole life, and Marcus has really never been given the opportunity before here. Chicago, he really never had a chance to play that much at short, so he's done a remarkable job. And Sano, find a position for him, maybe he'll get better. The A's have to continue to take advantage of mistakes, and another one was made.
Smolinski, he pinch hit in the 7th inning. He get that little tapper out in front of home plate. Missed again, 2-1. Tonkin is thinking, this is the greatest control I've ever had. I am painting the corners, and I'm behind the count on every hitter. Foul territory. Sano, right in front of the seats, makes the catch.
He's kind of trying to throw up his arm saying, I got it. Well, you better, because there's nobody near you. And that's, you know, you concentrate. He almost overran the ball as it did come back, as they usually do. He kind of looking around and finally fouled it, made the play. How many DHs are you allowed to have in a game or on the same team? Sometimes in the American League, that's a position you want to find for certain guys.
Here's Coco. Coco at the end of the bat rolls it toward Dozier, and we are headed to the bottom of the ninth. The A's 3 outs away from a win. And Vargas, Kepler, and Rosario, and Madsen's coming in. Brought to you by Black Bear Diner. Feed your inner bear. So the A's trying to break the 4-game losing streak and get a win here in Minneapolis. Uh-oh. What's he got in the Twins helmet?
Ice cream?
Ice cream? No, nachos. Nachos. It's going to be one or the other.
Question is, will he keep the helmet when he's finished eating?
Yeah, wash it out a little bit. Nothing like ninth inning nachos. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. So it is the closer, Ryan Madson, with 15 saves on the year, trying to save it for Kendall Graveman. Yeah, founding fathers are ready. Here's Kenny Vargas. So Vargas, Kepler, Rosario, if anybody were to get on, Juan Centeno. Just 3 hits for the Twins. 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th. This one tapped slowly. Lowry charges. He's got it. He throws, and they get Vargas 1 out. Lowry was quite a ways out into shallow right field, so he had to hustle in. And if you're the Twins, you just want to get somebody on base and get the tying run up to the plate. Kepler is 0 for 3. He has knocked in the Twins' only run with the fielder's choice. Good sinking fastball from Madson. Coco backs up, and he's got it 2 away.
We talked about Kendall Graveman pitching on Memorial Day at the Coliseum against the Twins, picking up the win. He got bullpen help as he went 6 innings of the game, and to close it out with a 1-2-3 ninth inning was number 44 on the mound right now. So he's 1 out away from doing the same. Got a couple of strikeouts and a Plouffe pinch hit, ground out.
And the first pitch is hit in the air to center. Coco's going back, still going back. He's at the wall, it's over his head. Rosario, who's very fast, is going to head into third with a stand-up triple.
Did he bang into the wall hard? Coco looked like he hit it hard as that fastball hit hard to center field, and going back. See how hard Coco hits the wall. Thought he had a bead on it, and man, he did hit it hard. And checking his left knee as he hit it. Left knee started failing a little bit, as let's hope he's all right.
So here is Robbie Grossman, who is the pinch hitter. He's a switch hitter. He's hitting for Centeno. Grossman has got 6 home runs, and he's got 18 RBIs. Got a pitch to hit the heart of the plate, but pretty good velocity.
It looked like with Rosario with 2 outs, and Ryan Madson just trying to get ahead with a first pitch fastball, but he was not waiting around. Typically, you're looking for base runners, and not a bad idea for a pitcher to throw a first pitch fastball, thinking they're trying to get on base. He did. Got a triple. Coco still shaking his left knee, his left leg in center field after banging against the center field wall.
Two-one pitch, just a bit outside. A tight strike zone all day from Manny Gonzalez.
Well, it should be a changeup coming up now as that fastball missed outside. See if he pulls the string on the 3-1.
That's a strike. So now full count. Let's see what Madson throws.
A fastball, 96, and a good one. And surprised that Grossman wasn't swinging. Fortunately, he wasn't. See if he wiggles the fingers. That's a changeup. Throw it down.
And it was a pretty good pitch, and you're going to give Grossman some credit laying off.
You know, Kemp, I think he might have been looking 3-1 too, the way he took the fastball.
That's true.
You know, you see guys who will do that against Ryan Madson. They'll sit soft, and this is a changeup. If you are swinging, looking fastball, you're going to swing, but he was looking all the way, evidently, because he took a 3-1 fastball that was hittable and a 3-2 changeup. So you could almost say if he'd thrown the fastball again, he might have struck him out.
So first and third, 2 outs. And Grossman, the runner at first, has good speed. So the hitter is Danny Santana, who is 1 for 3. He singled in the 7th inning. Santana, a couple of home runs on the year. The first pitch, low, blocked by Vogt.
This is for a couple of reasons. Keep the runner at third, but also Stephen Vogt to block it to keep the other runner from getting into scoring position.
The on-deck hitter, Eduardo Nunez. Inside, 2-0.
Cut fastball, so change up down, cutter inside.
Kinsler just getting loose in case. Good pitch there. So Santana took it, and the count is 2-1.
Commander Gonzalez does not have a emphatic strike zone. He kind of pushes the call in front of his chest. You almost have to be paying attention to see the call.
Grossman does not have a stolen base on the season. Got a pretty good lead, though. And that ball's driven towards center. Coco coming in, and he's got it. And that's the ball game. So the A's with 3 runs in the 7th inning, a couple of clutch hits, and they win game 1 of this 3-game series over the Minnesota Twins. It took 2 hours and 51 minutes in front of 23,100. Final score, the Athletics 3 and the Twins 1. You've been watching A's Baseball on CSN California, part of the NBC Sports Group. Don't go away. A's Post Game Live with Guy Haberman and Carney Lansford starts right now.